In ABC News exclusive, the first network interview with former Vice President Mike Pence since the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
A bit later tonight,
Get out of my door.
Chicago Spotlight, the new blockbuster hit, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Did you see the movie over the weekend? Good evening. I'm Cheryl Burton.
Did you see it?
Not yet.
Neither have I. There are some spoilers in Jose's piece, but not too much.
That's okay.
It's a good story. I'm Rob Elgas. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. Tonight, snow plows across the area preparing for the first measurable snowfall of our season. Salt trucks getting filled up to prepare for the morning commute.
I can't believe we're talking about snow plows and salt trucks. This is the calm before the storm. Apparently, the city looks just kind of placid, clear. Right. You know, you see the lights sprinkling, but tomorrow the ground may be covered with the snow, and it could be messy tomorrow morning for your commute. We are under a winter weather advisory for parts of the area. So let's begin tonight on this Monday as we start another work week together with Phil Schwartz with the AccuWeather forecast. Hey, Phil.
Hey, Cheryl and Rob. Yeah, this is going to be a kind of a tricky forecast. The closer you are to the lake, the less snow you're going to see. Now, if you're south of I-80, the snow will start before 4 a.m., far north 7 a.m. So right during the beginning of the rush hours when the snow will really pick up. The heaviest will fall during the mid-morning hours. Now, initially, this is going to be all snow, but it will mix with rain, especially near the lake as we have the east flow off the relatively warm waters of Lake Michigan. So here in the city, it will start snowing, but the snow will likely change over to all rain. And so I think the worst problems will be away from the lake. We're talking total accumulations, 1, 2, and a few places as much as 4 inches, with the highest amounts in the northwest suburbs. But again, much of this will melt as it falls. Please be careful if you're out driving, especially those bridges and overpasses. In a situation like this, you might be going along at 60 plus, and then you hit a bridge that's covered with snow and ice, and that creates problems. You can see winter weather advisories in effect from 4 a.m. to noon south, 6 a.m. to midnight for much of the western and southwestern suburbs, and from the city on north, 6 a.m. tomorrow to 6 a.m. Wednesday. Right now it's quiet, partly cloudy skies, temperature 37. 30 already in St. Charles, 37 in Plainfield. You can see that precipitation becomes kind of a mix as highs, at least in the city, get into the upper 30s. Got a cold extended forecast. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Cold and snow and slushy, messy, and it's just Monday. All right, Phil. Well, we want to invite you to, as you're getting ready tomorrow morning, be sure to have ABC7 Eyewitness News this morning tuned in, turned on, because Tracy and Roz will have the very latest track of the storm and the impact on your traffic as you head to work. It starts tomorrow at 4:30 in the morning.
Now, an update on breaking news we've been following all evening. 2 people killed in a shooting and a Chicago police officer hurt in the aftermath. The shooting happened at 21st and Western. Liz Nagy shares what we've learned so far.
This is just one portion of the crime scene that police still have taped off, and this is where police say both the victim and the gunman's vehicle finally came to arrest. Police say the actual shooting happened just on the other side of Western Avenue. Police say about 1:45 this afternoon, a man and woman were sitting inside a car when witnesses describe a white van pulling up and firing about 8 shots into that vehicle. Police say both cars then took off across Western Avenue and came to a stop about a block or so away. That's where police say both the man and woman died right there inside the vehicle. Police also say a large crowd of people convened on this crime scene just after that shooting, and that's when chaos broke out.
I heard a big commotion around the corner, went through the alley, and I just saw chaos. There was a couple young men arguing with the cops. There was a little tussle, and they started cursing at the police, and there was an officer on the ground.
That man described seeing a female police officer laying on the ground, clearly injured. Chicago police say she's since been taken to a hospital and is being treated for leg injuries that happened in that crowd just after the shooting this afternoon. Reporting in the Little Village neighborhood, Liz Nagy, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Liz, thank you so much for that. Praying for recovery today. A special mass in honor of hockey players at St. Ignatius College Prep. Players were hurt when a semi-truck crashed into their bus in Warsaw, Indiana this weekend. Students, parents, and teachers came together this afternoon. Stephanie Wade shares their reactions and an update on the students' conditions.
The St. Ignatius community coming together tonight to pray for those impacted in Saturday night's crash. 16 students from the junior varsity hockey team were injured when a semi-truck slammed into their school bus. And tonight, we were told 2 players are still in the hospital in Indiana.
There is definitely tears that they're worried about their teammates that are still in the hospital. That's a primary concern.
It's been a difficult 48 hours for the St. Ignatius College prep hockey team.
The first emotion is really shock. It's an unbelievably scary moment, especially from 14 to 17 years old to experience that. 23
junior varsity hockey players were on board a school bus heading back to a hotel after a game in Warsaw, Indiana, when police say a semi-truck ran a red light and crashed into them, flipping the bus on its side. At least 1 student was ejected from the bus. 16 were hurt, 3 critically injured.
It's definitely scary, and there's a lot of stories about like bus accidents like that, and it's just kind of like surreal that it happened so close to our community.
Charlie Reef's younger brother was on the bus Saturday.
He's doing pretty well, actually. Nothing serious. He's perfectly okay. He was pretty lucky, but I'm just thankful for that.
All boys are now out of surgery. However, 2 players remain in the hospital in Indiana. Sources tell us many suffering from broken bones, concussions, cuts, and bruises.
We're grateful that they are out of critical condition. They're stable, but they will have their challenges ahead for healing.
Varsity hockey players wearing their jerseys to school Monday in support of their fellow teammates.
Every practice, every game for the rest of the year and the next year, when I'm a senior, it's just think about I'm playing for them.
And police say the 58-year-old semi-truck driver failed a sobriety test and was swerving and speeding before hitting the bus full of students. He's now facing possible felony charges tonight. In Little Italy, Stephanie Wade, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Police in Waukegan are searching for those responsible for spray painting swastikas on headstones at a Jewish cemetery. Police were called to the Congregation Am Echad Jewish Cemetery this morning and found 16 large headstones with bright red swastikas on them. We blurred out those images here. 23 other headstones had other graffiti on them. Call police if you think you know who may have done this.
Well, thieves steal nearly 24 guns from a suburban gun range. Oak Forest police releasing surveillance photos of 4 men they say carried out the heist at Eagle Sports Range. Police say the suspects, wearing stocking caps and masks, used a stolen car to smash their way into the range around 3 o'clock this morning. Well, they got away with 23 guns.
Concerning, yes, because like I said, you're going to have a bunch of guys running around shooting, selling guns, under the table, so it's scary,
Police did recover the stolen vehicle. Now, if you have any information about these suspects, police want to hear from you.
Caught in deadly crossfire, a Chicago tow truck driver was killed while on his way home from work. We just learned the victim was 49-year-old Hector Negron. The shooting happened last night near Fulton and Damon. ABC7's Christian Picos on Chicago's west side with new information he's learned today.
That tow truck driver's colleagues tell me he had just started working at ASAP Towing within the past couple of weeks when he was killed in the crossfire last night. Now, the manager of ASAP Towing says he and his employees are still trying to process this devastating loss.
And he caught a bullet, come on. It sucks. Anybody it could happen to anybody.
Drivers with ASAP Towing embrace one another as candles mark the spot where they tragically lost one of their own late Sunday night.
I was nauseous. I almost threw up. Like, wow, it's hard to see, your own team member,
Chicago police say the 49-year-old tow truck driver was heading down the 1900 block of West Fulton just before 11 o'clock when 2 suspects opened fire from different vehicles. Police say the tow truck driver was shot under his arm and then smashed his truck into a bus stop at the intersection of Fulton and Damon. He died at a nearby hospital. Less than 24 hours later, debris from the crash still litters the scene.
We have the right to live, We gotta work. We gotta come out here and make a living. And we can't just come out here and make a living scared.
Edwin Rivera tells ABC7 he's known the victim for 20 years and says the driver had only been working at ASAP Towing for 2 weeks.
And this guy's almost 50 years old. And one of the most tremendous guy, stand-up guy.
Rivera believes the driver was heading home when he was caught in the crossfire.
It can happen to you. It can happen to us right now.
Which Rivera says only heightens his fears about safety in the city, especially when he's just trying to provide for his family.
I'm a grown man, but I gotta come out here and kind of ignore the fact that I'm a little scared to come out here, because if not, I will be at home not making any money.
Chicago police say they don't have anyone in custody as Area 3 detectives continue to investigate. We're on the near west side. I'm Christian Picos, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks so much for that, Christian. Now to Virginia, where police are looking for a motive in a shooting that left 3 college football players dead and 2 other students hurt. Now, this all happened last night on board a bus at the University of Virginia at that campus in Charlottesville. The students were returning from a class field trip to Washington, D.C., and police arrested the suspected shooter this morning after an overnight manhunt. He is a former member of Virginia's football team.
My heart is broken for the victims and their families and for all those who knew and loved them, and they are all in my prayers. As I've said before, when I see our students, I see my own kids. And I cannot imagine anything worse for a parent than to lose a child.
Classes were canceled today.
Sentencing begins tomorrow for the man convicted of killing 6 people during last year's Waukesha holiday parade. Darrell Brooks' sentencing scheduled to last 2 days. 45 people are expected to deliver victim impact statements in person. Brooks, who is defending himself, says he will have people testify in support of him as well. Last month, the jury found Brooks guilty on all counts of driving an SUV through the crowded parade. Brooks faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison on the most serious of charges.
Well, nearly a week after the midterms, control of the U.S. House of Representatives still up for grabs tonight. More than a dozen races that have not been called yet. And today, new and returning members of Congress were on Capitol Hill for orientation and to select leadership.
The Bulls would still love to have Michael Jordan. I'd still love to have Nancy Pelosi.
I'm fully in support of Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
Democrats will keep control of the U.S. Senate since the party won races in both Arizona and Nevada. Georgia still has a runoff set for next month.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden here in the Chicago area today. She started the day speaking to students at Rolling Meadows High School. And this afternoon, the First Lady stopped in downtown Chicago at Aon's office. The Secretaries of Commerce, Labor, and Education joined her to launch a new program called Raising the Bar, Unlocking Career Success.
Joe knows that this pipeline of support from high school to community college to career is the future of our workforce.
As part of the new program, the Biden administration helping guide schools use federal money to expand career programs and apprenticeships.
President Biden is in Indonesia now preparing for the G20 summit. Earlier today, he met in person for the first time with China's president. President Biden calling the conversation, quote, candid and blunt. But the two leaders signal they are open to cooling heightened tensions.
We share responsibility, in my view, to show that China and the United States can manage our differences, prevent competition from becoming anything ever near conflict, and to find ways to work together on urgent global issues.
The leaders also discussed Russia's invasion of Ukraine. President Biden says they agreed that the use of nuclear weapons there is totally unacceptable.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is speaking exclusively to ABC News about former President Trump.
He sat down with David Muir for his first network television interview since the January 6th insurrection. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze reporting from Washington tonight.
In his first network television interview since the deadly January 6th Capitol attack, former Vice President Mike Pence taking aim at his former boss. Sitting down with ABC World News Tonight anchor David Muir, Pence calling former President Trump's words that day reckless.
It was clear he decided to be part of the problem.
Several of the rioters threatened Pence's life as they tried to stop him from the ceremonial duty of certifying the 2020 election results. Pence detailing the scene at the Capitol that day in his new book, So Help Me God.
Over the course of several hours, you spoke with the acting defense secretary, you spoke with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley.
I did.
You spoke with the acting Attorney General, Jeff Rosen, with the Chief of Capitol Police. Where was the president in all this?
David, I was at the Capitol. I wasn't at the White House.
And when you learned later that he was watching all this unfold on TV?
I can't account for what the president was doing that day. I was at a loading dock in the Capitol where a riot was taking place.
But why wasn't he making these calls?
That'd be a good question for him.
The criticism of Trump mounting as scores of candidates he backed in the midterm elections have been defeated.
Donald Trump has a lot of blame being cast toward him for the way that the midterms turned out for Republicans. And Mike Pence, in a sense, is piling on at a critical moment. We know that he has his own ambitions.
Tomorrow in Florida, former President Trump is expected to announce his third consecutive bid for the White House. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
You can watch Breaking with the President, the Mike Pence interview, tonight at 9 on ABC7. The special will also stream on Hulu.
Back here at home, Chicago mayoral candidate Brandon Johnson getting another key endorsement today. This time it is from the SEIU Healthcare Group. That is on top of Johnson's previous endorsements of SEIU Local 73 and the Chicago Teachers Union. The Cook County Commissioner is one of more than a dozen people looking to unseat Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
New at 7, pediatric hospital beds are 78% full, the highest that number's been in 2 years. And kids are continuing to be admitted with respiratory problems. Karen Jordan spoke to local hospitals about their daily struggles.
The unprecedented surge of RSV cases has caused children's hospitals across the country to run out of beds.
It is hitting us pretty severe, especially for being this early in the season.
Dr. Michael Bauer is the medical director at Northwestern Medicine Lake Forest Hospital and says while they have worked to accommodate the increased need for pediatric beds, they are frequently at maximum capacity.
Unfortunately, we have times where we need to transfer our young patients out for higher levels of care, like a pediatric intensive care unit.
Dr. Bauer says there were 5 instances last week where Lake Forest worked with children's hospitals across the region to place children in their care.
When you're starting to tell them, we're transferring you up to a pediatric hospital in Wisconsin or Iowa or Indiana, that's a very tough thing and can really be a strain on the family.
Doctors say most cases of RSV can be treated at home, but be on the lookout for severe symptoms.
If you ever notice your child working really hard to breathe, where you can see them labored, if you see any blueness to their skin, any blue tint whatsoever, or they're really not wanting to eat or drink and they're becoming really fatigued and tired, I would take them to the emergency department.
Doctors are hopeful RSV cases are beginning to plateau, but they're worried rising flu and COVID cases will continue to stretch hospitals to the limit. They urge everyone to get their flu and COVID vaccines. Karen Jordan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Karen, thank you for that. The new Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court is defending the body against accusations of partisan politics.
Mary Jane Tice was sworn in this morning in Springfield. This was a ceremonial event. She's already been on the job since Ann Burke retired earlier this year. Tice says we're in a time of crisis and called this month's Supreme Court elections, quote, bruising.
Over and over, the people of the state of Illinois were told that the judiciary is just another place of partisan politics, that what we do is just gamesmanship. I will tell you that is not my experience. That is not the truth. Ann Burke's leadership.
Tice asked fellow judges to recommit themselves to the core values of being impartial and demonstrating fairness.
The Chicago Police Department is welcoming a new class of recruits today. A graduation ceremony at Navy Pier honored the group who just completed their police academy training. Congratulations to the graduates.
We still ahead, the K-9 officer being credited with saving a life.
Plus, another Chicago group getting a big donation from Mackenzie Scott.
Major fines for airlines over flight cancellations and delays.
I know we're sighing together in unison.
It's Monday, but we're going to be okay. We're going to get through
Monday.
it. We need, it was coming sooner or later, this snow.
I know, but when you have like 78, 76
that was
last
hard
week,
to,
and then like 4 days later, you're talking about slushy, mushy morning commute.
So here we go. You got to break it down for us, Phil. Were you here for the record breaking where we could give you high fives and stuff? I think you were.
No, you mean that record-breaking high temperature on Thursday?
Right, yeah.
No, I wasn't here that day. I was outside
enjoying it. Yes.
Well done. Yeah.
But it is a hard adjustment, you know.
It is. I mean, you know, it's going to be cold. The Holiday Lights Parade is on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's not going to be much better then. We won't deal with snow then, but it will be unseasonably cold. Really for the next several days, if not for the next 7 to 10 days. So get ready for the snow. We'll break it down for you. Late tonight is when the snow moves in. It will start south and move north, probably reaching the city around 5 a.m., just in time for the morning commute. Slushy roads are likely, especially as you get away from the lakefront and into the northwest suburbs. Now, I think the most significant snow will fall mainly in the mid-morning hours tomorrow, up until about 9, 10 a.m., and then some rain mixes in, especially near the lake, and possibly changes over to all rain in some places, and the precipitation somewhat diminishes. Somewhat concerned about some fog tomorrow night, along with some additional snow showers. So when you add this all up, most areas will see an inch or two, but there could be locally 4 inches as the snow gets enhanced with that northeast flow tomorrow night. So northwest suburbs, you might end up with 4 inches of total accumulation, but I think 1 to 2 inches will cover it for most of us. Keep in mind, most roads will be wet, but those bridges and overpasses could become quite slippery. So keep that in mind if you're bolting down the expressway and think everything's A-OK. The bridges could become extremely slick. 4 a.m. to noon, that's when the winter weather advisory is in effect for southern Will County and south. Then you get northern Will County, southern Cook County, and into the far western reaches of our area. That's in effect from 6 a.m. Monday until midnight tomorrow night. And then for DuPage County, the northern two-thirds of Cook County and into McHenry and Lake counties. The winter weather advisory starts at 6 a.m. and goes all the way until 6 a.m. Wednesday as we get that lake enhancement going tomorrow night. So the most significant snowfalls mid-morning tomorrow and then early tomorrow night. You can see the European model showing generally a ½ inch to 2 inches of snow. But right in this area, it's very localized, but that northeast flow could cause somewhat higher amounts with that lake enhanced snow early tomorrow night. The GFS model showing similar totals with 1 to 2 inches of slushy snow. So we're not talking a big monster storm, but certainly enough to cause some slick spots for your morning commute. Today's high, we made it up to 42 degrees. That's mild in comparison to where we were this weekend, but still 7 degrees below average. The low this morning got down to a frosty 27 degrees, not quite that cold overnight. Right now we have mostly cloudy skies, temperature 37 with a wind chill of 32. In Elmhurst, 33 right now in Elgin. Frankfort, you're checking in at 34 degrees, and you can see mainly the 30s across much of the Midwest. You can see the precipitation starting to approach sections of west central Illinois, especially snowing in much of Missouri. And we do have many winter weather advisories in Arkansas, Kansas, and right up into our area. There you see the disturbance right there. That will continue to head northeastward. As it does so, watch the area of snow spread into our area just in time for the morning commute. Notice the rain with that east flow. The lake is still in the 50s, so that will cause the snow to change to rain near the lake. The precipitation diminishes for a while and becomes mainly rain as highs get close to 40 tomorrow, at least in the city. Stays primarily snow or a mix inland, and then transitions back to primarily snow early tomorrow night. Precipitation diminishes during the day or during the late night tomorrow, and then some more snow showers, possibly mix some rain on Wednesday. Thursday, the storm system moves out, but then this Arctic front moves through. That could create a few snow showers. And look at the high Thursday, just 34, and even colder than that on Friday. So snow develops before daybreak, lows of 25 to 31. Tomorrow, a messy sort of day. Snow becoming mixed with rain, especially near the lake. I think 1 to 3 inches most places, maybe a total of 4 when you add in tomorrow night. Highs 36 outlying areas, 40 in the city. That's why we have the AccuWeather alert. And look at these numbers. You think it's going to be cold the next several days. Friday's high only in the mid-20s. Yeah, and the highs this weekend struggle to get back to around freezing.
I'm staring at that.
You're staring. Festival of Lights Parade.
16 on
Yeah,
Saturday.
That's Saturday
Yeah.
morning. That's that's Saturday night. But yeah,
Right.
high of 32. Probably for the Festival of Lights, we're talking upper 20s with wind chills in the lower 20s.
Ooh, wind. I know that's far out. Like
Yeah,
wind
it
gusts?
doesn't look real windy, but enough wind to put an extra bite in the air.
You guys going to be on the float, right? So you're going to go
on.
whiz through all that
Right.
wind.
I've got hand
you know.
warmers, feet warmers.
The Pointer Sisters are singing, I'm so excited.
I'm gonna wave to you
So-
from the float.
Keep going.
You'll be. We're gonna talk about her singing later, buddy.
Okay.
So stay tuned, okay?
I'm ready
We're working
for
on our
it.
parade waves too. I failed on
Are you going to be
Friday.
there, Phil? Are you going to be
I'm
on the
going to
float?
be in the nice toasty studio.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to work.
I know. I was thinking you could run between, but not time won't work out for
No,
you.
we have, with football
That's
games,
right,
we have
yeah.
cut-ins and stuff.
That's
Okay,
true.
you're
It's going to
working.
be busy and crowded down here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You know, Friday too, the tree lighting ceremony.
Over at Millennium Park.
The Chris Kendall markets are opening
Opens
up.
Friday, yes. Over
So
at
what
the
kind of
plaza.
weather is that on Friday, Phil?
Even colder, highs in the mid-20s. So let me get out of the way.
Yeah, okay.
26 for a high. That's
Yeah.
the actual air temperature. That's the warmest it's going to be.
It's perfect.
No,
It's the
no, it's
holiday
not perfect.
season.
It's snuggling weather.
Okay.
Not perfect.
All right, Phil, thank you.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, look,
See, you can go get a hot
It
cocoa
is-
over there.
And they've got the new mugs this year, and some new
Big
ornaments.
pretzels. We'll send Larry to get a Bavarian-style pretzel.
Ooh, yummy.
They're good.
And you got to dip it in something, some kind of sauce or something.
Whatever you want.
It's going to be the city's just going to be
gonna be nice.
just,
We're
everybody's going to come by and talk to us here on State Street like they've been doing it. So that'll warm us out, right? Okay, all right. We're talking, Monday motivation here. We got
Okay.
some good news here.
Yes.
Lake County, Illinois Sheriff's K-9 and his partner have been credited with saving a woman's life.
Dax, you've met Dax
Yes.
before. Seen here, and his partner, Deputy John Forlenza, rescued a woman last night in unincorporated Mundelein. She had been reported missing. K-9 Dax quickly located her in a wooded area near her home. She was unconscious and suffering from hypothermia. Lake County Sheriff's Office has 10 K-9 teams. Well done to Dax.
Well done.
Love that.
Great job. We like to
Glad
hear those
everybody's
stories. Yeah.
Chicago's Noble Schools gets a $16 million donation.
$16 million
money.
from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott. She is the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Well, she gifted the money to Noble Schools, and it serves more than 12,000 students at 18 open enrollment schools serving 77 neighborhoods here in Chicago. And that's just about every neighborhood.
It's a lot of money. She's giving a lot away. What her ex did, he announced today he's giving
Right.
a lot of his money.
$100 million to Dolly Parton.
Away, yeah.
But that's okay, because
Dolly's
this
great.
is $16 million straight to Chicago schools.
Take it.
The future of, Chicago. They're getting.
Yeah, she's been very generous,
Mhm.
which and they still both have so much money.
I was watching an interview with Jeff Bezos, and he said just like starting and founding his company was hard work, he said allotting money and being generous is hard work too. It's not just giving it out. You have
I've got to
do
think you have to
research.
be, yes, right, be
Yeah.
specific. You want to just causes that are
Right.
legit. I would like to have that problem.
I know, right? Oh, it's a good problem to have. It's
You
just,
hire people that tell you, here are the
Sounds
top,
good.
Mr. Bezos, and then you say, okay.
remember, he gave Van Jones $100 million. That was his first donation of helping future generations.
It's curious timing him talking today, and I'll tell you why in a story coming up later.
Oh, really? Okay. You always know the inside scoop about everything, especially this one, too.
His first birthday as monarch ahead tonight, the big celebration for King Charles.
Nice photo there. Plus, ways to protect your identity online. Simple ways to create stronger passwords. We have that story for you coming up next, so don't go anywhere on this Motivation Monday. We'll be right back.
some point your email password has probably been leaked.
Yeah, it is a problem that impacts far more people than you actually realize. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles tonight sharing how to avoid giving criminals hints on your passwords.
Here's a quick password tip. Did you know that 80% of consumers have had their email leaked on the dark web? According to a recent study from Lookout Mobile Security, there are also many common passwords which were also leaked on the dark web, which can be matched to those accounts. Here's some tips on how to make sure your accounts are safe. Besides using a stronger password, use multi-factor authentication. Most social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter have this to add an extra layer of security to your account. Be careful what you post online. A survey from Lookout found that 26% of people have public Facebook accounts, and they frequently contain information that makes it easy for attackers to guess your passwords, like your birthday, the names of your family members, and your hometown. Also avoid common passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Use a password manager which can store and encrypt multiple passwords for all your accounts. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Excellent information, Jason. Thank you for that. Now, it's a story that's new at 7 tonight. Millions of dollars being refunded to travelers over canceled and delayed flights. So today, the Department of Transportation announced actions against 6 airlines. Only Frontier is the American company. The airlines is being required to issue $222 million in refunds to travelers and pay more than $2 million in penalty fees for extreme delays in providing refunds. Frontier faces the largest fines of the 6 airlines.
Amazon planning to lay off about 10,000 employees this week. Largest reduction in the company's history. Cuts expected to be in corporate and technology roles. The company also planning to eliminate jobs in its devices organization, which makes Alexa gadgets, and its human resources and retail divisions.
And Google agreeing to pay almost $400 million in a multi-state settlement over how it tracks users. 40 states, including Illinois and Wisconsin, accused of Google of using location data to target advertising to users. It is the largest privacy settlement of its kind here in the United States. Now, under the settlement, Google is required to be more transparent about its location tracking practices, and that includes giving detailed information about the types of data that it collects.
Gas prices have dipped a bit more ahead of next weekend's Thanksgiving holiday. AAA says prices down 15 cents statewide to an average of $4.16 a gallon. In the suburbs, prices down 18 cents from a week ago to about $4.37 a gallon. In Chicago, here prices dropped 15 cents to an average of $4.75 a gallon. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, already setting box office records.
Well, the film earned $180 million domestic ticket sales here in the U.S. and Canada, even higher than expected. It is the biggest ever opening for a film in November and the second highest opening of the year, behind Doctor Strange in the Multi-Universe of Madness. Disney, of course, owns Marvel Studios and is the parent company of ABC7. So many people, everybody that I called this weekend said, I got to go. I'm headed to the movie theaters.
They went?
Everybody. I didn't go,
right.
but I sent, I took an entire theater and 80 children. I donated the theater to make sure 80 children in Chatham. Yeah, I did this
When?
Yeah, this weekend. The Chatham Cinema in the neighborhood where I was born and raised and grew up. I rented out the theater through an organization, and
Good for
80
you.
children were able to go and see it this weekend.
There are 80 kids who were talking to their friends this morning at school, like, did you see it?
Yeah.
Well
and
done.
You can't tell people because you can't do spoilers,
Right.
you know.
And there's a bit of a spoiler coming up here. Not too, we're just revealing a character, but
Some
it's
of my
worth it.
friends told me some things.
Okay, I don't want to know.
But I will say they set it up for a number 3.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Right.
I'll
That's
take it.
all. But things happened.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever has a new character who comes from Chicago's South
Yes,
Side.
Chicago proud.
Yeah.
Later on tonight, we'll talk to the actress playing the genius, Ironheart, and she is from Chi-Town.
Plus, the reason these sandals went for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Yeah,
Okay.
those.
That. Veteran soap opera actor John Aniston is being remembered tonight. He is the father of Jennifer Aniston, who released news of his death this morning. Well, John Aniston appearing more than 3,000 episodes of the longtime running soap opera Days of Our Lives, earning a Lifetime Achievement Emmy earlier this year. Aniston had 2 children. Jennifer posted a message on Facebook saying her father passed away on Friday, writing, "I'll love you till the end of time." John Aniston was 89 years old.
Victor Kiriakis in Days of Our Lives. Comedian Jay Leno recovering from burns. He told Variety he was working on a car in his garage and it burst into flames. The 72-year-old said he's okay, but will need a week or 2 to recover. Grammy Award-winning musician Roberta Flack has been diagnosed with ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and will no longer be able to sing. Flack is known for her hits, including Killing Me Softly with his song, and The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face. She says she struggles to speak, and Flack has plans to publish a children's book early next year.
Yes, it is a birthday celebration fit for a king, and today marks the 74th birthday of King Charles III and his first as monarch. The band of the household cavalry honoring the king during the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. The royal family releasing a new photo of the king. Very nice, celebrating privately and did not have any public events today. That is a very regal picture. Happy birthday, King.
Weird.
I like it. I think it's beautiful.
The song sounded like sad. Like it was a couple. I'm not a musician. I am really bad.
Do you want to sing it the way it should have sounded? Okay.
It just was very happy birthday.
But that's protocol and tradition.
I
there.
know.
Right. They keep a stiff upper lip. You know, they don't do the Stevie Wonder version that we do all the time. So
they should.
You know.
It would be happier. He's under that. Right, listen. Come on.
Our director, Greg, is bringing it back.
What is happy about that? You have to admit. I know I won't.
But it's regal. It's regal. That's it's protocol and tradition.
Bill, can I get a third voice in here?
I got it was a raspberry.
It's very sad. I'm very sad.
Oh, you guys are.
Happy birthday.
A lot of horns. The horn section is nice.
Charles.
I bet he liked it. As long as he liked it, that's all that matters.
Tree. I mean, even the photo's sad. He's under a tree that's not even alive.
Okay, and then Greg just keeps playing it for you.
You're like, okay. The only thing weird about that picture is the sun.
It's just so pretty. I just think it's well done, well lit.
About that? His pants? His cane?
Oh my goodness, that's a walking stick. It's not a. It's a walking.
A hobbit's gonna come out of that thing and chew on his hair.
It's
or
all,
the headless horseman.
It's all very nice.
Okay,
it is very nice.
I don't think.
Okay, happy birthday to the king.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going back to your 5th grade again.
Right, yeah,
all right, well, let's talk about a pair of sandals. Set a record at an auction going for $218,000.
They once belonged to Steve Jobs.
Does this make you happy?
Yeah,
Is this happier?
These Birkenstocks were a staple for the founder, the Apple founder, during the 70s and 80s. A former house manager saved the shoes from the trash. Julian's auction says the shoes were well used but still intact. Even have the imprint of Jobs' feet on them.
Oh, that was my next question. Would you wear them, or would you put socks on and then wear them?
I don't think if you buy those for $250,000, you're probably just displaying them, right?
Okay. Do you put them in a shadow box?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get a plaque made to say worn by the man who changed your life.
That is true.
Like
I will say that we all have these digital devices.
Yep. Okay.
They look definitely used.
Yeah,
well
which is
worn.
nice.
Yeah.
Just really nice. And if you're a fan of his and his
exactly
genius.
what his toes look like.
And speaking of genius,
okay.
A genius character from
go.
Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, featured in Wakanda Forever. We'll talk through the actress who plays her coming up next. But first, Phil, your thoughts, please, on the photos, the birthday song, and the Birkenstocks.
Hey, I'm just doing a tease. Come on,
Come on.
Yeah, we'll talk more later.
Don't drag me into your mess.
Right.
39 for a high tomorrow. Snow will mix with rain, change over to rain here in the city, but a wintry setting the next 3 days as it turns gradually colder. And you think that's chilly? Wait till you see the forecast for Friday and Saturday. I knew Greg could not help us. This is so cheery. We're going to be back to bring you more happy stuff.
That's right.
And the birthday song. Oh. Wakanda Forever. It was a mega Marvel hit at the weekend box office.
One of the stars in this sequel is a character who's from the south side of Chicago, Ironheart. Jose Sanders talks to Dominique Thorne about playing this key role.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Hustle paid the price. All my life, grinding all my life.
You must feel so proud to be a part of this.
I'm very proud to introduce the world of Chicago into the MCU as well.
Get out of my dorm. Get out. Hey, I'm warning you, do not take another step toward me.
Riri is a brilliant college student at MIT, an engineering genius. She even creates the armor that lets her fly as Ironheart. And she's key to a power struggle among empires.
You can come to Wakanda, conscious or unconscious. You need to be conscious of the way that you look. Walking around here with that ash on your head.
The first thing I see on the wall is that Chicago flag. So talk to us a little bit about the Chicago pride that you sense coming into this project.
Riri Williams, being a young black girl, is really the focal point of her existence in the MCU. And then add on top of that, that she is a genius, and add on top of that, that she is from the South Side.
How did it feel to be with this cast of superstars on this set?
I think you cannot step into a room, onto a screen, onto a set with Angela Bassett or Denai Guerrero or Michaela Cole and not feel the need to make sure that you're present, awake, alert, and doing your job. It's a gift and a beautiful challenge and a great time to play. It's like an actor's dream.
Ironheart is getting her own series on Disney Plus, airing next year. What do you think this character, Riri, and then in terms, Ironheart, will mean to young black women across this country, especially in Chicago?
I hope that when young black girls see Riri Williams, they see someone who is reaching for their dreams, which means that they can reach for their dreams, who's doing so fully in herself, fully in her truth, unapologetically, and that it means that they can as well. I hope they feel encouraged and inspired to reach for whatever it is they want to reach to, how they want to reach for it.
You're doing Chicago proud, some justice to us.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Appreciate it. Jose Sanders, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Wow.
It's going to be great.
I mean, I love her spirit and her inspiration and the way she talks about the women warriors, the queens of Wakanda.
The series, I'm just as excited for.
Yeah.
Because these Marvel series, I think, have been awesome. Loki and some of the other ones. So a series with a character from here.
Right.
People are going to be watching, it's like that meme.
Everything.
Yeah, where you're like, there, I recognize that. That's Chicago.
Yeah, you see that Chicago, of course, the Chicago flag.
Oh, yeah, it was right there. Jose saw it right away, too.
Yeah, I saw that in some of the promos that they had aired earlier. I was like, whoa. And they did film in Chicago. They filmed at Tyler Perry Studios. They filmed in Australia.
And they've been doing the series here, I believe, too. So it's going to be great. She is considered a Chicagoan to me.
They might need a news anchor,
It's not,
you know,
it could be you.
from Lake Zurich. Or where are you from? Oh, gosh, Crystal Lake. That's it. Yeah, see,
Thank you. Mark Rivera and I would have been very upset.
I know. Well, I knew it was Lake, so Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake. Maybe she'll come out there.
She might have to.
Well, I see
because
you
that's
standing
where
over there.
the geniuses are.
Oh, that's good. Phil, you want to add to? I see you standing over there.
Yeah, no, I'm just listening.
Did you go see it, Phil, this weekend?
I worked
or like Thursday or Friday night? You could have gone Thursday
will
night,
see it.
midnight.
I was hanging out with my granddaughter.
With Serafina.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she is the boss of you.
He sent me a photo and then I forgot to give it to Michelle.
You insisted and I sent, and then you didn't follow.
She's telling us tease. Are you with us tomorrow?
All right.
No.
We're going to show your granddaughter anyway.
Yeah.
Don't shoot your eye out. The House from A Christmas Story is now on sale. It's not like an Airbnb. You can buy it.
I know. That's what we were talking about. Plus, Jeff Bezos says he wants to give away his fortune. And then Dolly Parton is ready to take a chunk of it. We have a great story on this Motivation Monday. You have to hear it. So stay right there. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, is giving away his money.
We like this. As you mentioned earlier, $100 million going to Dolly Parton. She's known for donating to several causes. Now, she's being honored with Bezos' Courage and Civility Award. Prize has no strings attached. Bezos says they can give it all away or not. I bet she'll give it away. The Amazon founder also announcing he wants to give away most of his $124 billion net worth in his lifetime. He says he wants to fight climate change and support people who work to unify humanity. That sounds okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of organizations who could use $100 million. And I think he makes that in an hour, maybe? Or
well, the
24
company,
hours,
Amazon, makes, although they're cutting back. We said this earlier. They're one of several big caps that are cutting back on their employees. And
But you should always give. You know, when you've got it, you should give to make other people's lives better. And Dolly Parton said, always give with your heart.
If you're worth $124 billion,
you're not going to miss $100 million. And do you know how the lives and the trajectory of the lives will change?
From that money. And Dolly's going to spend it wisely. I can't wait to see what she does.
She's such a generous soul and a talented, beautiful woman, too.
And a Hall of Famer in rock and roll.
I know, right?
Recently.
Yeah, she fought that, but you are worthy of every accolade. I love Dolly Parton. Note to self. Ralphie Parker's childhood home, it is up for sale. You remember, this is in Cleveland. It's the Ohio house that was the setting of the film. What was it, in 1983?
Well, it was set back in...
All right.
But it's set back in the 40s.
Okay, but filmed in 83, very popular
Right.
then. All right, well, the current owner bought it off of eBay in 2004. How do you do that for only $150,000 if people have to be able to book overnight stays and take tours? There's no suggested price tag for the home, but the sale comes just before the debut of A Christmas Story, Christmas, later on this week. And I was saying earlier, we could buy it and make it an Airbnb and we could hang out and...
It's got to be worth more than $150,000
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
Although now housing's kind of balancing out, so maybe you can get
But
a
it's
deal.
like an archive, it's history.
It is
it's
history.
Movie history.
The timing is curious with the new sequel. Have you seen some of the trailers?
See?
Oh, I mean, they're all in it. I hope it's good.
It's perfect timing.
Yes,
You know,
for sure.
because it's starting to feel a little like Christmas.
Do you have a speech impediment?
Now, for the record,
Okay,
if
now
we
that
want,
was
yeah, that's
not
really not.
that wasn't very nice.
That's-
What does that have to do with my singing?
It's what it sounds like.
We talk about kindness here. So
I'm
repeat after
sorry.
we're listening.
That's
Cover
just-
your ears because Grandpa had a
Oh my
meeting.
gosh, that was cold-blooded.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Apologize.
All right.
That was over the line.
Gosh.
Hey,
We'll
happy
give you
birthday.
that.
For the record, we sang happy birthday to she was 104, I think.
104
last
years
week.
old. Yep, Queen Mariah.
Queen Mariah. It was
Yes.
not like King Charles'
Right, it was
rendition.
upbeat
It
and
was
happy.
upbeat, and people reached out to you.
Right, and they DM'd
they
me on
said-
social media and they said, ooh, you sound amazing. You have a great voice.
You do.
Yeah,
And you know, I
see?
think the King Charles III birthday celebration has soured you.
You know what? And it's Phil. That's how I'm going to sing it for Phil's birthday. Yeah, because that's how he sounds. Yeah. Go ahead, Phil.
All right.
I'm not feeling this weather.
I can tell.
Or you.
All right. Thank you very little. All right. Let's look at the potential snow. At least here in the city, it looks like we're going to get anywhere, as you can see on the graph, no accumulation, to about 1.5 inches. So we're going to get some warmth from the lake, keeping the snow kind of very wet, if not changing it over to all rain. But temperature-wise, look at the high temperatures over the next several days. The average high is still in the upper 40s. Tomorrow, the warmest day out of the next 6 with a high of just 39, 36, 34. Look at the high on Friday, 26. We have the Lights Festival on Saturday, and the high temperature during the day Saturday only reaching 32 degrees. Today's high temperature, 42. We're not going to be that long for the foreseeable future, believe it or not, even though the average high is 49. Right now, a few other numbers for you. Algonquin, you're down to 31, 34 in Plainfield, 37 in Oak Lawn, and 37 at both airports. Broader view shows temperatures mainly in the low to mid 30s, 34 over in South Bend. So you can start to see this year spreading through much of Missouri, reaching west central Illinois. That will get in here before daybreak tomorrow. Winter weather advisory in effect. It's in effect for the city from 6 a.m. tomorrow all the way till 6 a.m. Wednesdays. We could get some lake enhanced snow mainly tomorrow night. So here's our satellite radar composite. You can see some of the clouds moving into our skies. Those clouds will thicken up overnight. The snow arrives before daybreak. This is what it will look like around 7 o'clock in the morning. Widespread snow, but right along the lakefront and here in the city, that easterly flow will keep the precipitation as snow or a rain-snow mix. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, notice that rain starts to show up in a few more locations, and the snow that is falling will be a very wet snow. Then as we get into tomorrow night and temperatures start to cool off again, the rain will start to transition back to snow. So I think the most significant snow will be in the northwest suburbs. Wednesday, we're not done with the wintry weather. Temperatures mid to upper 30s, more scattered snow showers, and again, maybe a little bit of rain showers mixed in with that snow near the lake. Finally, we head into Thursday. A cold front approaches late in the day, nothing better than the mid 30s, and then it turns nearly 10 degrees colder than that on Friday. So snow develops very late tonight, mainly after about 4 a.m. in the southern suburbs, 5 to 6 a.m. here in the city, lows of 25 to 31. Tomorrow, snow mainly in the mid-morning, accumulations during the day 1 to perhaps 3 inches. That snow will mix with and likely change to rain here in the city. More snow showers Wednesday into Thursday, and then unseasonably cold right into early next week. We'll be right back after this break.
So we
Thanks
were
for-
talking about
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Wakanda, and Tyra, a producer, just walked by the studio.
Saw it.
And she just came from seeing it, so she's coming to work early.
Maybe she could give Phil a hug. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like he's having a rough Monday.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10 o'clock over on ABC7.
Stay
Good
dry
night.
tomorrow morning.